Hey, this is Alex from Board Game Co. And today we're going to go over a bunch of Kickstarters in brief to cover my overall thoughts on them, whether you should back them, shouldn't back them, whether I'm backing them, and general opinions and thoughts on those. This is not going to be one of those deep dives I do where I really go into a single Kickstarter across the whole video, but rather I have 6 Kickstarters at the top. I'm going to go through them in briefly, and we can go from there. So starting off the top, we have Batman the Animated Adventure Series. This is one that I personally am not backing because I didn't love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series in the adventure system that this is based on. It is supposedly a good game. I shouldn't say supposedly. It is a good game. It is well rated. People like it. If you've liked that game or if you think you might like it, this is probably a Kickstarter worth backing, and it is a Kickstarter that you're likely to see your money back on. It has extensive stretch goals going on, which is usually one of the big things I look for, whether it's a good buy or not. So this is probably a good buy. This is a safe buy. It might be a game you'll enjoy, and if it isn't, it's a game you'll see your money back on. I happen to not be backing it because I found the game good, not great. But again, if you look at the ratings for this game, I'm clearly in the minority, and I don't recommend buys based off my own personal taste, but rather based off of whether it's a good buy for you. So yes, it has a lot of stretch goals. It is probably worth backing, and you probably are not risking much by going after this game. From there, we have Steamwatchers. Steamwatchers is still a little new right now. It's still only, 4 or 5 days in. It's currently only slightly above the funding goal, which is a risk in and of itself. I did a full video on this. I currently have a $1 pledge. I don't think I'm going to end up backing this, but I like to keep my options open, especially when it's a company that I like. Mythic Games is definitely a company I like. It's definitely a company I highly recommend. If you've watched the videos, if you've read the rulebook, and this game calls to you, you're probably not risking that much. I don't think you're going to see your money back big time. It's very possible that the retail copy will come out and be significantly cheaper. You do get some extras for having the Kickstarter copy. You get recessed player boards, you get an extra clan. I think it might be an extra 2 clans even. But there's definitely some extras here, but this is not a chock full of stretch goals game, and this is not one I feel as comfortable in that you are safe with your money in terms of really seeing it back, especially once you account for shipping. People always look at these things and say, oh, I can get, $150 back for it, but you have to factor in the shipping costs. You're going to be covering a lot of shipping, and that's something you have to factor in when you want to choose to resell it if it's not a fit for your group. So if this game calls to you, if you like it, go for it. But I don't think this is one that is a really safe bet at the end of the day. Then from there we have Erune by Arcada Studio. Erune's a very, very interesting one. It's already funded over twice its goal, but I'm a little hesitant on it just because of how app-driven the game is. This is basically, it compares itself to Hero Quest, but it's very app-driven, and all the adventures are created and driven by the app. It's a fascinating game. It looks very interesting. I personally am not backing it, primarily because I have had no good experiences when I mesh that world of app games and non-app games. I don't think I have a single game that's really stuck in my collection that meshes those two worlds. And until I get one, I'm reluctant to spend money on a Kickstarter that, from an untested company, that is going to be giving us that system. That being said, I was tempted. I was very tempted. It looks very cool. I want to back it. I have to pull back and say it's not worth it. As far as whether it's a safe back for you, honestly, it's a risk. This is an app game by a relatively unknown company. It definitely falls into that risk category. At the same time, because fewer people are backing it, if it is good, if people do like it, it's one of those games you might see your money back and then some. But whether or not you should back it, I think it definitely is a risk. If it calls to you, it's probably worth jumping in. It does look very cool, and I was very tempted despite being totally outside my area. From there we have Viscounts of the West Kingdom. Viscounts of the West Kingdom is by Grapple Games. It's Garphill Games. It's the continuation of the series of Architects of the West Kingdom and Paladins of the West Kingdom. I personally am not backing it because I plan on playing it when it comes out for sure. I've played all their games, and they've all been enjoyable, even if I haven't chosen to keep them. So I do plan on continuing that, and this one, more so than many of them, looks very, very attractive. I really like this whole setup. I actually don't know a thing of what's going on, but I certainly plan on playing this one when it comes out. As to why I'm not backing it, it's because their games don't really have enough extras to justify the investment. You're paying a fairly decent premium. I mean, this game you're paying, where is it? You're paying around $52 or so for the basic level. You get some more levels with some coins and whatnot. It's going to be much cheaper later. It's going to be. This is not a question. You are 100% paying a premium to get this game early, and I don't think that premium is worth it. You will be able to get it cheaper if you wait, and in terms of whether it's a good buy or not, I mean, the game's going to come out. It's going to be produced. You're not helping bring this to life. You're not getting a good return on your money, in my opinion. If you're so excited, if you love the series, if you want to pay to get it early, by all means, you do you. But if you're wondering whether this is a good buy, I don't believe it is. If you're patient, you'll get it cheaper, and right now you're just paying a premium to get there early. I don't think you're going to see a return on your money in this one, despite the fact that I do think it will be a very good game, a continued, well-respected game that people like. From there, we have Chronicles of Crime, and honestly, it's going to be more of the same for that one. Chronicles of Crime is another one that I played the base game. I enjoyed it with caveats. I don't actually own it anymore, but I did enjoy it a few times I played it. This is another very heavily app-driven one, although I will say this is the closest to being an app-driven game that stayed in my collection. I enjoyed a few plays, but I found it to be a little less guided than I would like and a little too open-ended. I prefer the unlock games and other games in that genre than this, but I did enjoy it. As far as to whether it'll be a good game, I'm sure it will. They have a track record of doing good games. This is just more of the same. It's an easy win in terms of being a good game. But in terms of being a good buy, I have the same concerns as Viscounts. You're not really getting a good return on your money here. You're basically paying a premium to get it early, and that's fine. If that works for you, that works for you. If you're patient, though, wait till it hits retail. You'll get it cheaper. You won't be paying the premium. You won't be paying shipping. And again, I can't say this enough. Shipping is a big deal. People always look at the prices. Sometimes even before you count for shipping, it's not a good deal. But once you count for the fact that you're paying shipping on a single item, I mean, we're talking about a hobby where people will go to any lengths to, oh, hey guys, I have $24 worth of stuff in my cart. What other $76 worth of stuff can I add to get free shipping? This is the world we live in, and yet people for some reason forget that when they're backing a Kickstarter. When they're backing a Kickstarter, they're suddenly carte blanche. They couldn't care less. They're not worried about the fact that they're paying shipping on one game. It's something to account for. It doesn't mean don't back it. I'm not here to be a buzzkill. I'm not here to whatever. I'm just saying if you care about whether there's a return on your money in this one, I don't believe there is. You can probably get it cheaper. You want to back it anyways? Go ahead, have fun. Do what you want to do. Finally, last on the list we have Night Tales, and this is one of the most difficult ones I have here. Night Tales it looks very cool. It's by a new publisher. I don't know these guys at all. But it's by a new publisher. The game the game looks very well done. The Kickstarter is surprisingly well done for someone who's completely new here. It's very tempting for me to back this. At the same time, I'm holding off for now because it's a new publisher and the funding levels are not where they would need to be for me to jump in and say this is a risk worth taking. Is it possible that it'll be a great game, it'll be well respected? Totally possible. Is it possible your Kickstarter copy will be worth more money? Totally possible. Do I think that it's going to be? Do I think it's likely? I mean, think about it this way. Think about it practically. How many games hit $50,000 of funding? Let's say it gets to $100,000. How many games in this genre, with miniatures and whatnot, that hit $100,000 of funding, how many of them have gone on to be super successful games that multiple people wanted? The numbers aren't high in that category. It does look good. If this game looks up your alley, if you've watched the videos, if you've read the rulebook, if it looks up your alley and it looks like something you'll enjoy, give it a shot. There's sometimes Kickstarter actually can be used to bring new projects to life and give creators an opportunity. It doesn't have to be used for established creators every single time. At the same time, while that is your choice and that might be a very nice thing to do and it might get you a good game out of it, in terms of whether it's a safe buy, I don't think it is. It might work out in your favor, but I'm hesitant to stamp any sort of seal of safe buy on this guy. So that's basically it. Those are the Kickstarter games. At the moment, none of these I plan on backing. But that being said, if I would have done this video last week, I would have had 2 or 3 in there. So it just depends on the week. That's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this video. This video is brought to you by Board Game Co. If you like us, head on over to our website, buy something, trade with us, sell us your games. We don't have a Patreon. You don't support us that way. If you like the content you're seeing here, just go over and head to our website and buy something there. And until next time, you can like this video, subscribe, watch another video, and we'll see you next time.